On August 2022, NASA lost contact with its iconic Voyager 1 spacecraft for several hours. This marked the first time that this had ever happened in the probe's 45-year mission. The situation was so serious that NASA officials feared the worst. But then, an hour later, they received a signal from Voyager 1 that changed everything. What did it say? Welcome to my channel. And today, let's find out what NASA's final message from Voyager 1 was. To be more precise, NASA uses a special type of radio wave called X-band. These waves have a frequency of 8 to 12 gigahertz, which is just beyond the range of human hearing. This is because the probe has enough power to run its systems until 2025. After that, it will likely be met with the same fate as Voyager 2. Eventually, both probes will stop sending back signals as their nuclear batteries run out of plutonium-238. Although that day is still far off, NASA is already thinking about what to do with the remains of these probes. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other videos on space. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. In 2018, they published a document outlining the steps that would be taken when Voyager 1 and 2 die. According to the document, NASA will try to deorbit both probes by firing their thrusters in such a way that they burn up in the atmosphere. However, if this is impossible, then the probes will simply become space junk and remain in orbit around the Sun forever. NASA's Deep Space Network, or DSN, uses 3 stations around the world to send and receive signals from Voyager 1. That's why they've taken steps to make sure that it won't happen. They've explored more worlds than any other spacecraft and have provided us with stunning images of planets, moons, asteroids, and comets. In short, Voyager 1 and 2 are true pioneers that have paved the way for future exploration of our solar system and beyond. And while their time in space is coming to an end, the legacy of these incredible probes will live on for many years to come. For example, Voyager 1 and 2 don't have any propellants left. This means that if they were to crash into Earth, they wouldn't do much damage. Additionally, the probes are equipped with a beacon that will emit a distress signal if they start to fall out of orbit. This will allow NASA to track the probes and redirect them away from populated areas. In the unlikely event that this fails, Voyager 1 and 2 are designed to burn up in the atmosphere before they hit the ground. If for some reason they don't, then NASA will try to recover the probes and dispose of them properly. Of course, this is all just speculation. No one at NASA is sure what will happen when the probes die, but they are taking every precaution necessary to make sure that they do end up in a landfill. These signals take 40 minutes to reach the spacecraft and another 40 minutes to get a response. So communicating with Voyager 1 is extremely slow. But despite the distance, the engineers at NASA were able to pinpoint the cause of the problem and send a command to the probe that fixed the issue. Here's how. They sent Voyager 1 a command called a safe mode. This instruction reset the probe's computer and stopped the gyroscopes from spinning wildly. Afterwards, NASA got a beep. This is what it sounded like. This meant that Voyager 1 had received the signal and its systems had stabilized. But there was one thing that NASA didn't expect. Before they sent the signal, Voyager 1's telemetry data indicated that the probe's temperature was abnormally high. But after the beeps, the temperatures returned to normal. How was this possible? Even after 45 years in space, Voyager 1 still works like a champ. Built by NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Voyager 1 is one of only 2 spacecraft that have ever left our solar system. As you may know, Voyager 1 has been sending back amazing images of interstellar space for decades now. But did you know that it's also collecting audio messages from Earth? Yes, aboard the spacecraft is a golden record filled with the sights and sounds of our planet. It was put there so that if the probe ever reaches a civilization out there in the stars, they would know where it came from. On August 23, 1977, before Voyager 1 even left our solar system, NASA recorded various natural sounds on Earth, including wind, waves, birds, laughter, and even a baby crying. All of these were compiled onto the golden record along with pictures of Earth and instructions on how to play the record. Now, here's where things get interesting. As part of the checkup, NASA transmitted a signal asking Voyager 1 to play the record and send back an audio sample. What they heard was this. At first, it was thought that this strange noise was interference. But then, NASA realized that it was coming from the spacecraft's aging hardware. You see, Voyager 1 is so old that some of its parts are degrading. This is causing the analog-to-digital converter to mangle the sound waves, turning them into this strange noise. It's almost as if the probe itself is trying to tell us that it's getting old. Who knows? Maybe the aliens will understand what we're trying to say. Its twin, Voyager 2, joined it outside our solar bubble in 2018. As it travels through space, the probe faces extreme cold and radiation, which is slowly breaking down its systems. In fact, this is the reason why NASA lost contact with the spacecraft. Its orientation and control system, also known as the axe, is going haywire. This is what happened. The gyroscopes that help point the probe's antenna towards Earth were getting wobbly. This is because the reaction wheels in the axe use electric motors to keep Voyager 1 pointing in the correct direction. However, when these motors are engaged, they can cause the probe's gyros to wobble. The axe was designed to fix this issue by switching off the thrusters whenever the gyros reached a certain speed, but somehow it failed to do so. This caused the gyroscope's oscillations to grow exponentially, leading to chaotic wobbling that prevented Voyager 1 from communicating with Earth. These probes were sent into space to explore Jupiter and Saturn before heading out into interstellar space. Launched on September 5, 1977, Voyager 1 began transmitting data about Jupiter in December of 1979. In 1981, the probe started sending back amazing pictures of Jupiter's moon, Io, which showed active volcanoes spewing lava high into the air. By March 1980, Voyager 1 arrived at the planet Saturn and took breathtaking photos of its rings. After completing its primary mission, Voyager 1 was put into hibernation. However, NASA kept receiving scientific data from the probe. When it turned 40 years old, NASA declared the Voyager 1 mission to be the most prolific in the history of planetary exploration. Despite all of its incredible achievements, though, Voyager 1 is very far away from Earth right now, and it's starting to fall apart. But wait a second. How does NASA talk to Voyager 1 if it's so far away? Well, the answer is radio waves. But that's not all. There was something else in the signal that made the engineers at NASA sit up and take notice. The good news is that Voyager 1 is expected to continue sending back data for at least another 5 years. As you can imagine, NASA doesn't want these probes to end up in a landfill. After more than 4 decades in space, these probes have given us an incredible amount of knowledge about the universe. So what do you think? Do you think the aliens will ever hear our message on the Voyager Golden Record? Let me know in the comments below.